Today, we're going to talk about the 3-4-2-1 custom tactics and instructions, and we're going to go into detail on actually how to play this formation with in-game examples and what you need to do to make this work. It's one of the best formations right now because it's so attacking. It gives you so many options, but also defensively, it's very difficult to break down. Now, obviously, if you're one of these people that just thinks tactics is going to save it for you and you don't care about the instructions, like exactly how to use it, you can just take the tactics off the screen now, but I really advise you to sit through this whole video to understand how this works. We are running balanced 30 width and 50 defense. This is neutral, right? This is going to make it compact in the middle. It's going to make it very difficult to break down. It is going to give up wing space, which when you watch the instructions, you'll see how we stop the cutbacks coming through as well. Build up play and chance creation. We're going to go balanced and we're going to go forward runs. The reason why we don't go long ball or fast build up is because of a specific instruction we put on our strikers in the player instructions, which we'll talk to you about. We do go for 75 width because the left forward and right forward sit narrow as it is anyway in this formation. And we want that width coming from our left mid and our right mid to give us the ability to switch the ball. If we don't have an option on down on the one side of the screen that we don't like, we can do that. And then for our players in box, we are going to go with 6 because this is going to tell your left forward, left mid, right mid, get involved. Same for your centre mids as well, but not committing as many men forward. For our instructions, we did this in our 4-3-2-1 and it works a treat in the 3-4-2-1 as well. We run target player on all of our forwards. You're going to see the examples on why we run this and how it actually impacts in game if you stick around for that. The right mid and left mid. You want people, ideally, that have got high work rates, that can defend, that can do a job. Bellerin, Foden actually kind of did okay for us there as well. Come back on defense and get in behind. Why do we run the get in behind? Pretty simple. We want them to exploit the space that is in behind that is going to be free when we are hitting on the counter. Come back on defense to make it a 5 at the back when we're defending, all right? For your right centre mid and left centre mid, both of them are on stay back and cover centre, but the one that you want edging forward ever so slightly, put on stay on the edge of the box for cross. This is going to give De Bruyne a little bit more of a higher sitting power on the edge to just find him to then get that shot off as and when. Now, we do actually put an instruction on our central centre-back here. We're going to go step up. What this means is that if they beat Kevin De Bruyne and Milinkovic-Savic, Smalling is actually going to be pushed up onto their like number 10 if they're playing like a 4-2-3-1 or playing with any cam. They're going to be up and more aggressive. But if they're playing, say, a 4-3-2-1, for example, he doesn't really do anything because he's got no one to step up onto anyway because that striker's going to be there centrally. So it's only if there's like a cam for them to step up into, but it does give you a little bit more of a pivot between those three players that works quite well. I do have comes for crosses and sweeper keeper for Szczesny as well. Crosses are pretty strong when the opponent knows how to use them, and sweeper keeper helps you deal with those over the top through balls. So those are the tactics and instructions that we're running. Now let's go ahead and jump into actually in-game examples on what you need to be doing to make this formation work. So in our first example, I want to talk to you about how you are going to look to break away and hit on that counter. Because we have the target player instruction on, what that's actually going to do is it's going to tell your forwards to kind of look into feet. They're going to have their body and their back towards the opponent's goal, facing up towards you with the person with the ball at their feet. Here, it's our man in the middle. So what is the key element that we have to do? Well, it's pretty simple. If you want to try and hit on the counter, if you look down at the mini-map here, we have got the whole of the opponent's half to play into. We are going to tap the L1 button on PlayStation. It's going to be LB on Xbox, which is just your left bumper button, in the direction of the player we want to run, which in this case is Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe is now going to run in behind, and the key part about this is you want to try and look to go in behind as and when you can. So as that comes forward, we drive, we then lay that ball into him, and now this is where the playing into feet is going to work. Di Maria, target player, he's our left forward. Look at the space that he occupies and moves into to then go into that middle, and then it's about what can you do? Can you dribble past the opponent? The little ball roll just to bring it over onto the left foot. We all know Di Maria on that left foot is so dangerous. So what does the opponent want to do? He wants to come across and get that block in. So instead, we just go for a little left stick dribble with the R1 button, the agile dribbling, just holding that down to quickly get that shift of the body position to move it back onto that inside, take out the defender and get that simple shot, an easy goal. Here we can see that we stand up and defend exceptionally well in this three at the back, because when we have the right mid and left mid on comeback on defense, it basically makes a 5 at the back. They tuck in really nice and narrow, essentially giving up the wings. But when the ball comes out to the wing, that's where you're going to bring your left mid, your right mid over to try and stop that from coming through. Now, he goes for a cutting pass through the middle. That's fine. That's not a problem. You can then be aggressive with that left centre-back or right centre-back. We're just covering there with Kimpembe. And now it's about how we can break. We pick the ball up and we lay it into Di Maria, using that left forward, right forward exceptionally well into feet again. Now, we notice Mbappe, he's making that run in behind, right? What do we want to do here to make this a better, more angled run? At the minute, this is going to be quite difficult. We need to try and exploit some space. Where do you think that space is? Well, I'm hoping you're saying there's a bit of space we could attack here, and there's a bit of space that we could attack there as well. So what we do now is we tap that L1 button, and we then flick the right analog stick to change Mbappe into a creative run. This is now going to bring up those green arrows, and it's going to show us that he's moving into there. Now look at that. The defender completely leaves Mbappe. He doesn't stay with him because the opponent's trying to bring this man back. We can now lay the ball into Mbappe. Now it's about what can we do? How can we find our way? The ball roll, the little pass off, the step overs to get into that space, followed up by the low driven. As simple as you like, we get another very good goal. So your left mid and right mid are on get in behind. Make sure we look to use that as and when we can. Akone picks that ball up and we have all this space to exploit and get into. Now, so many people here are just going to run towards the byline and then look to sweat it off across. That's so predictable. It's easy to read. Let's be a little bit different in this 3-4-2-1. On the occasions, can we look for a cross? Can we get the ball into the box in a different sort of way? Now, we press both the left stick and the right stick in. We push the buttons in to introduce a player lock. Now, when you go the player lock, you see the little different icon above their head. It's now about right stick switching, finding the man that you want. I flick the right stick up twice to go from Akone into this man, and then one more time to go to Di Maria. Now, as his opponent is running back, remember the final third runs that we're running with those forward runs, it's going to start to push that defensive line back into their box. We can operate in between this space. Just going for a normal square cross, finding it there, following it up with a quick fake shot, Di Maria finding the goal, and this is our left forward. Our right mid linking up into our left forward from a cross, as simple as you like. A great goal again. Guys, your support means the absolute world to me. If you do enjoy this and it is helping, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Come over to our Twitch stream, twitch.tv/AlexBee official. A link is in the description below. You can ask me any questions and get help with your FIFA game. Let's get back to the video. Looking over on the defensive side of things now, the 3-4-2-1, because we have that left mid, right mid, and come back on defense. Sometimes as you're trying to play out, you only really have 2 centre mids to go to, and it can be a little bit risky when you are looking to play out right. So as we can see, the ball gets drilled out. Foden, who's basically playing left wing back for me right now, is just out in that position. We're trying to cover the line. We don't want to get the cut back. He does find it. We step into Smalling. Now look at this. Don't do this. Don't go, okay, I've got the ball, pass it into there, and end up losing the ball in this area. Anywhere in there. It's so risky. You've got kind of 1 or 2 options, essentially. Obviously, if a simple pass is on, go for the simple pass, right? But 1 of 2 options. Option number 1 is to go for like a little dink into your centre forwards because they're on target player. They're just occupying that space. They're not touch tight to their defender. They're just dropping in ever so slightly. So you can go for a square ball on PlayStation or X on Xbox and just dink it up and over into that man. That can work. What can you also do, though? This is something that so many players don't do, and it's so easy to beat the press this way. You can just dribble back out towards your touchline, towards the goal line, towards the goalkeeper, to the wing, whatever it may be. We go backwards here, we pass it to the goalkeeper, and then look at how we've got a bit more space. We can then switch the ball, and we've just beaten the press. As simple as that. A way to use this 3-4-2-1 exceptionally well when hitting on the counter is to use your middle striker as the anchor between your left forward and right forward. So here we're going to win the ball with some aggressive defending. We lay the ball into Lukaku. As the ball is in motion, look where it is. I've already passed it. It's on the way. I'm now pointing my left stick towards my left forward, Di Maria, and I'm tapping L1. That's telling Di Maria, get in behind, bro. Get on your bike. Get running. Let's look to exploit the space in behind. Look at the mini-map again. There's so much room. Let's be quick on that counter when and as the opportunities arise. Now we lay it into Lukaku. The opponent kind of goes, oh, well, I want to go to Lukaku, but I want to go there. He doesn't really understand what he's doing. We go for a little L1 triangle over the top, in behind, and then allowing Di Maria to get into that position to just run all the way through. And then we do choke it a little bit, in my opinion. I think the keeper should do better there. But still, the principle remains the same. Go into the striker, then play off the left forward and right forward. That middle man, that striker, in this position, it was Lukaku. So this is your striker here. Sits like that. He comes in. Your left forward. And then your right forward, which is there, he sits that a little bit deeper. So you might say, have the ball out here, pass it into this man. As you do that, you trigger that left forward in behind, and then you can lay that over the top. Make sense? And another scenario where we kind of look to break on that counter, we trigger those runners. We actually use out here something to take note of, which you can use this into your opponent to kind of drag them in. We tap R1 here into Di Maria. This brings your left forward close to you. When you tap R1, RB in the direction of a player, it says, come to me, come to my feet, right? And then as Di Maria starts running, what that's going to do is it's going to draw the opponent in with it. And then you can say, haha, no, I don't actually want you to. We tap L1, we tell Di Maria, now get in behind. So we're manipulating the AI's movement from doing that. So it sucker punches him in. We go out there, we go for that through ball in behind. His centre-back's now out of position. And we're now in a very favourable position. Di Maria up against the centre-back. This is the left-back. And we have numbers flying forward in this formation and tactics. One pass over. The left-back doesn't know. Does he go? Does he stay? Should I go or should I stay now? He doesn't know. He doesn't know what to do, right? So now we just go for that little dink ball over the top, L1, triangle. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You know, keeper might claim this, but little over the top. It's a lovely ball. Bellerin, our right mid, is there for the goal. And again, that's telling him to get into that space with our forward runs and with the getting behind as well. Another scenario now, we use that player lock again. We've got time on the ball. The opponent's not pressing me. He's more worried about Mbappe here. We're just pulling Mbappe out. We then press both analog sticks back in, as you can see here, to change off the player lock and go back to the person on the ball. We don't use Mbappe. We shimmy that one over with Di Maria. We make it look like we're going to go for this play here. We're drawing the opponent's eyes to the way that we're facing. But what did we just do? Well, we just sent this man on a run as we released the ball. So, lay the ball into Mbappe, going back into the space that we were just at, taking that touch, knowing that we just triggered this run in behind with our right forward, a little through ball, and then again, the low driven being so crucial. If you enjoyed this video and you want to catch any of our other latest tactics, you can click this link right here and it will take you over so you can do exactly that.